everyone, Christine Cusinelli here with number 5 habit switch to help you ditch the to-do list. Today we're going to talk about how to clarify your to-dos and how to prioritize them. We all know that we can get overwhelmed, and especially if you're the leader of your organization, you might have tasks coming at you from all directions, and you have to figure out how to prioritize them, how to make sure they get done, so that you can show that you're the accountable leader who is decisive and able to accomplish the goals that are set out before you. So today what we're going to talk about is how to manage all of your tasks without having to necessarily rely on a to-do list. Because as we know, more than 40% of the things that get put on a to-do list don't get done. So let's find some strategies to figure out how to put those tasks in order and get them done. Yesterday, I talked about David Allen. David Allen is probably the most popular authority on getting things done. That's actually the name of his book. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of some of David Allen's work and I'm going to elaborate on it for you. When I first heard about David Allen's getting things done, I liked the idea, I liked the concept, but I found it was very complex. So this is the one piece that I've taken from David Allen's work that I think is very applicable to you. Let's have a look first. As I said, what we're going to look at today is clarifying and prioritizing a task. So a lot of us put these things on a to-do list. You don't have to put it on a to-do list and then not be able to keep track of it. There's lots of different ways that you can use tools in either your inbox for your email or other digital tools that you can use in order to prioritize your tasks and clarify them. So first step is to look at the task itself. And you're going to ask yourself for this particular task, is it going to be something that you can do in less than 2 minutes? Maybe less than 5. That's kind of the range that I use. If you think that you can complete the task in that short period of time, this is a simple fix. The first thing you're going to do is do it. Just get it done. If it means you have to call your mother-in-law to say that you want to arrange for the family dinner this weekend, make sure you know what the objective of your call is and make it that 5 minutes max. Then you turn around and you can mark it done. Sometimes you're going to have a task that you can delegate off to somebody. So when you delegate to a member, especially of your staff, these are a couple of the things that I recommend that you do to make sure that the delegated task actually gets complete. If you're the leader of the organization, at the end of the day, the accountability and the responsibility ultimately lies with you. So here's what I do to make sure that people who are reporting to me not only understand the task when it's due, but also how to make sure it gets done. I will often create a reminder. So I'll put this reminder in my calendar. I like to use either Outlook. These days I've been using Google Calendar, and there's lots of options within both of those platforms that you can create reminders to give you a beep or a notification that lets you know that you have to think about this. Then you keep it out of your mind, which is going to be reserved for creativity. So you create yourself a reminder that you've delegated this task off to somebody. And then the second thing that you're going to do, and it's really important that you do this, is you let that person know the time frame that you're expecting them to complete the task. Often our impression or our idea about when a task should be completed is going to be completely different than the person that you've delegated the task to. Not to mention, you may not know all the other tasks that they are also trying to prioritize. So to be mutually respectful of time and making sure that things get accomplished, always assign a due date. Even if that due date is, I'd like this done today, you have to really clarify that with people in order to be successful in getting things done. Lastly, here's what I find is especially helpful if you have employees that may be new to the workforce. It's really important that people understand that you're not going to know when it is that they've completed the task. You might have set yourself a reminder and so on, and all of those are important steps. But it's really important that you say to the employee, please let me know when you've completed the task. In other words, report back to me when it's complete. This is going to avoid having something that is sitting in the outbox that needs to be attended to, or maybe the person finishes it ahead of time. The other option is that they may have to request more time to complete the task. And all of these are really important pieces in communicating with your staff and making sure that you represent a leader who is flexible, who is understanding, and who encourages their staff to put in their best effort with all of the tasks that they're doing. Number 3, wait. Yes, really, wait. Sometimes you're going to be in a situation where there's a task that needs to be completed, but there might be a reason why you have to wait. You might either have to wait on a decision maker, you might either have to wait on something that needs to be accomplished prior to that actual task being done. So when you have to wait for somebody else or for another file to be prepared, etc., here's what you're going to do. Number 1, you're going to, similar to number 2, you're going to create a flag or you're going to create a reminder for yourself so that you get a notification letting you know, oh yeah, we were waiting on so-and-so to be able to move forward on that project. The other one is following up. So this is a follow-up reminder to the person that you're waiting on. When you set your tasks, I usually do this on a Sunday. When I set my tasks for the week, I have a look at what are my follow-ups or people that I need to follow up with, and then I go about sending them an email right away. These are all quick tasks. Sending them an email right away saying, hey, so-and-so, I'm just following up with respect to the proposal I sent you last week. When would you like to set a time to have a look at it? So that is how you deal with the waits, because those happen too. So far we've talked about the tasks that you can do right away. We've talked about the things that you can delegate off to other people, what to do when you can't really accomplish a task immediately and need to return to it later. And now we're going to approach the last one, number 4. Number 4 has 2 components, so I've divided them into A and B. A is if a task is more than 2 minutes, then what you're going to do is you're going to put this into your next task scenario. What I mean by that is that we all have big things. Stephen Covey, we know most of you have seen the video where he puts all of the boulders in, the big boulders first, then he puts the medium ones, and then the grains of sand. Big things, do them first. So this is what this principle is. So A, if it's a task that might take more than 2 minutes, then this is the task that you're going to look at, and you're going to decide if you're going to do that in a particular day. Again, I'm not a fan of to-do lists. So for me, I add these things directly into my calendar, and then I know I have a running tally in my day of how much time that I'm going to accomplish set aside for the task that I have at hand. Here's B. B is if it's more than one step, then what you're going to have to do is you're going to house this task. So a task that requires more than one step is a task that might be a combination of some of these others. You may have to wait on somebody. You may yourself have to prepare a proposal in order to submit for a meeting situation. So in order to be able to accommodate for a task that takes more than one step, here's how you're going to use your time. In this case, you're going to house the task. So you might have started collecting files, it might be documents, and you're going to house those, hopefully digitally, into one space. If you have to do it in an actual folder, that's fine as well, but know that you're keeping all of the information for that one task that requires more than one step in one spot. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to revert back to A, which is basically setting it in as your next task. And again, not a fan of the to-do list. I have lived my life for many, many years using a calendar and being able to input a plan each day that says I'm going to be accounting for an hour on this particular task, 3 hours on this other task. And this is the very best way, in my opinion, to be able to manage your time effectively and get a whole lot done. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next week.